Episode 7 of Fallout starts with two wanderers using metal detectors to find gear in the sand. These are lead farmers, and unfortunately when they return home they find the ghoul eating in the kitchen. The father of this house is not happy, but he does agree to answer Cooper's questions. It turns out Tommy, the farmer's son, is mixed up with Moldava and her crew. He strongly believes in her mantra of fixing up the world. Unfortunately, he's also enticed his older brother Rufus into this too. He's dead now, thanks to the ghoul. Tommy reluctantly reveals that Moldava is up at the observatory, but given his strong beliefs and itchy trigger finger, gets a bullet to the stomach for his troubles. Back in the past, Cooper ends up clashing with Moldava, who brings up that she actually knows Barb. This gets his attention and they walk together. As they do, Barb explains that America has been locked in a resource war for over a decade. Vault-Tec bought the means to end that war, and she wants his help in getting back at Vault-Tec, and, by extension, Cooper's wife. She also explains how those who aren't communists are insane.
Really?
Now, Cooper does actually bug the Pip-Boy when he heads home, and decides to figure out exactly what his wife may be hiding. Moldava's words certainly resonate with him, and he keeps a close eye on Barb from here on out. Meanwhile, Lucy is handcuffed inside Vault 4. They show her the tape of the scientists, including Overseer Hawthorne, who are all under attack by one of the Gulpers, which ends up getting loose. Now, it would appear that what they're doing is hybridizing humans with radioactive resistant species to try and make them capable of withstanding high radiation. However, these experiments went horribly wrong when the creatures ended up killing the scientists. It turns out the vault is actually taken over by the creatures, and they ask about the experiments taking place in Vault 33. When Lucy says there isn't one, it's enough for her to be arrested. As she's taken away, they pass Maximus's room, and he stops munching popcorn and gets to work freeing her. Lucy isn't hard to find though, given she's brought before the entire vault and sacrificed for causing harm. As she's sentenced to death, she's banished to the surface, and the sword presumably used to decapitate her by the Overseer is actually used to cut her binds rather than slicing her head off. They even hand over 2 weeks of supplies too.
A surprise, to be sure, but a welcome one.
While Lucy asks for Maximus to stay in the vault, Maximus is unaware of this, and instead he shuts down the fusion cores, using one for the armor, and bursts in with his Brotherhood armor and begins smashing up the place. Lucy does stop him midway, and he awkwardly apologizes, eventually leaving after stealing the core. Lucy is not happy with this and eventually convinces him to give the core back. Maximus feels naked without the armor, but he reluctantly agrees. Lucy gives him a pep talk and they decide to head out and find Wilczek's head. Elsewhere, Thaddeus finds a nearby petrol station where he decides to leave CX-404 inside a Nuka-Cola canister. With the dog left behind, Thaddeus listens to the radio, another lovely nod to the games, and ends up at a pharmacy where a doctor agrees to fix him up in exchange for a fusion core, of course. The doctor grins maniacally, and those who have been watching closely may recognise him from earlier in the show when he passed Lucy in Philly. Thaddeus gets his foot healed back up again, reversing the mangled damage. He also gives him the direction towards Shady Sands. As the doctor scampers off, the ghoul manages to find CX-404 and uses him to track down Thaddeus. He does call them up dog meat, a nod to Fallout 4, and off they go. Thaddeus manages to use a radio, but while waiting for his ride, ends up impaled through the neck, just as Lucy and Maximus show up. Now, remember the concoction from the doctor? Well, it turns out it's turned him into a ghoul, so while he can recover from seemingly life-threatening wounds, he'll now need the vials to top up too.
Oh, well, that's all right then!
Maximus agrees to give him some time to leave, and he also ends up kissing Lucy as the pair part ways. Maximus intends to slow the Brotherhood down, and Lucy rushes off as she says she'll be over in Vault 33. Speaking of which, over in Vault 33, things take an unexpected turn. The raiders have all been killed with rat poison, and unfortunately the orderly is arrested for this. Of course, we know this is Betty's doing, and right afterwards the assignments are dished out for repopulation and changing the vaults. Chet and Sandra are heading to Vault 32, while Norman is staying in 33. After the new dwellers are shown, see, forced, into their new vault, Norman breaks into the Overseer's office and decides to figure out what's happening. He uses a computer, with the clever hacking minigame from the Games to Good Measure, and sends a message to the Overseer of Vault 31. He gets a reply back instantly, and manages to head over there, after saying the mission has been compromised. As he stands in front of the vault door, 31 opens, and Norman steps inside. As Norman heads deeper inside the vault, he's shocked by what he sees. And what is it? Well, we'll have to wait for the finale. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.